Who do you think is truly dangerous? Is it the person who yells in your face, points a finger at you, or threatens you openly? If your answer is yes, you're wrong. Carl Jung spent his life warning about a darker paradox. The most dangerous people never raise their voice. On the contrary, they enter your life with a gentle smile, a piece of advice that sounds for your own good, or a sweetness so caring it feels almost unreal. That's the trap. Jung called this the paradox of the shadow. The truly dangerous person is not the one who openly shows their darkness, but the one who denies it, who believes they are completely pure, completely righteous, completely good. It sounds harmless, but that very belief in their absolute goodness is the most frightening sign of all. Because when someone is convinced they are always right, every impulse they repress will find a way to leak out. It seeps through every judgment disguised as helpful advice. It hides inside acts of control dressed up as protecting you. And by the time you notice, it's often too late. Picture this: a coworker who's always eager to help, yet every favor leaves you feeling indebted. A friend who constantly checks in, but after each piece of guidance, you feel smaller, afraid to move forward. A family member who says, "I just want what's best for you," while quietly suffocating your freedom. These aren't just annoying personalities. This is unconscious intrusion, what Jung called psychic contamination. You leave the conversation drained, confused, as if a piece of your soul has been stolen. Then you ask yourself, am I just too sensitive? No. That's your natural warning system screaming for help. The greatest danger lies in false trust. You don't hear a roar. You only feel the slow drip of water wearing down your will and energy. Until one day, you've grown used to shrinking yourself, censoring every thought and feeling, just to keep the peace with them. Jung warned, the shadow we refuse to face will rise up and control us. It may appear as a perpetual victim who demands you carry their pain, a moralizer who uses truth to make you feel guilty, or a fake sensitive soul who convinces you their emotions are your responsibility. What do they all have in common? They make you believe you are the problem. But the truth is, you are living inside an invisible cage built by their shadow. If you've ever walked away from a meeting exhausted, even though no one insulted you, this is not random. It's a sign you've encountered one of the walking shadows Jung warned about. And this is only the beginning. There are 6 types of dangerous people like this, hidden in families, workplaces, even among those you trust most. We're going to peel off each mask, not to judge, but so you can recognize them, set boundaries, and protect your mind, energy, and soul. So don't look away. Watch this video to the end to uncover all 6 dangerous types Jung warned about and learn how to protect yourself before it's too late. And if you find these insights valuable for your journey, hit subscribe to Inner Surreal right now. A single warning today can become the shield that protects you for a lifetime. Type 1. The emotional victim. Have you ever left a meeting or a coffee chat feeling strangely heavy, as if you were carrying home a bag of invisible stones? No one scolded you. There was no argument. The other person was polite, even kind. Yet minutes later, you find yourself confused, wondering, did I do something wrong? If this feels familiar, you've likely encountered the first type Carl Jung warned about, the emotional victim. They don't give orders. They don't need threats. Their weapons are 2 things that seem harmless, the look and the compliment. The look isn't fierce, it doesn't scream, it's simply sad, empty, yet powerful enough to tighten your chest. A coworker lets out a quiet sigh. A relative stares at you across the dinner table. And suddenly, you feel responsible. To ask, to comfort, to do something to erase that silent sorrow. No one forces you, but you still give up your time, your choices, your own rhythm, just to avoid disappointing them. This is the stealing gaze, a look that turns your freedom into an invisible debt. Then comes the double-edged compliment. They say, "Only you really understand me," or "Thank goodness for you. Without you, things would be so much worse." It sounds like gratitude, but beneath the sweet coating lies a quiet command. You must always be here. You're not allowed to leave. You smile, you feel warm, but at the same time, An invisible pressure tightens around you. You stay an extra 30 minutes even though you're busy. You take on more work though you're already overloaded. You cancel personal plans just to honor that appreciation. Little by little, you lose the boundary between choice and obligation. You think you're helping, but in reality, you're carrying a psychic debt you never agreed to. The frightening part is that most of them don't mean harm. They truly believe they're simply sharing their feelings. But Jung warned, the shadow we denied does not disappear. It slips out, changes shape, and seeks someone else to carry it. Inside them is a deep fear of abandonment, a sense of helplessness, and it clings to you like a parasite. They don't realize they're draining your energy, but your body knows. Each encounter leaves you exhausted, restless, as if your life force has been quietly siphoned away. These two signals, the stealing gaze and the double-edged compliment, together weave a soft but unbreakable net. No chains, no locks. Yet piece by piece, your freedom is squeezed away. That is why Jung considered this type among the most dangerous, because they make you volunteer to carry their pain. And in this sweet game, you slowly lose your boundaries, your vital energy, and eventually, yourself. Type 2, the confidence eroders. Some people never insult you. They don't yell, they don't frown, they don't openly humiliate. But after every conversation, the spark of excitement inside you quietly dims, replaced by a creeping doubt in yourself. These are the confidence eroders, the spiritual termites Carl Jung once warned about. They don't rip your wings off in a single night. They nibble, slowly, piece by piece, until you are the one who cuts your own wings away. The frightening part is how respectable they appear. Calm, experienced. Their words are slow and coated with a veneer of realism. You share a new idea and they give a faint smile. Interesting. It's just that I've seen many people try that and fail. You excitedly outline a bold plan and they tilt their head. Sounds good, but be careful you're not setting yourself up for disappointment. Life isn't that simple. Every sentence sounds reasonable, every word seems caring. There's nothing obviously wrong. Yet a small crack forms inside you. You begin to wonder, maybe I'm dreaming too big. Maybe I'm not capable enough. This is their silent strategy. Slow, soaking rain. No direct blow, just a steady drip of tiny remarks falling on your belief in yourself. Day after day, your will erodes. At first, you hold to your plan, but after a few conversations, you start scaling back. Less risk, less creativity, just to avoid the unrealistic label they've so skillfully planted in your mind. And then, one day, you accept a smaller life. You think you're maturing, but in truth, you've just surrendered your original courage. Confidence eroders can be anyone, an experienced coworker, a worldly family member, even a close friend you trust the most. They may genuinely believe they're helping you stay practical. That belief in their good intentions lowers your guard. You leave the meeting with no clear evidence, only a vague fatigue and the haunting phrase, "I'm just worried about you." Jung called this phenomenon collective shadow projection, their own fear of failure projected onto you in the form of advice. They don't need you to collapse. They only need you to stop believing in yourself. Once your confidence is worn down, you voluntarily trap yourself inside the safe box their unconscious fear has built. And the moment you settle for a smaller life, they feel relieved. No one around them dares to attempt what they once feared themselves. Pay attention. Every time you share, they add one more caution. Every time a conversation ends, a little more of your self-trust is gone. You think you're getting wiser, but in reality, you're simply learning to shrink to fit their fear. That's why Jung placed them in the dangerous category. They don't need power or violence. With just a few seemingly caring words, they make you quietly strangle your own dreams and believe it was the smart choice all along. Type 3, the dangerous life teachers. After the fragile souls who make you carry their pain, after the confidence eroders who quietly eat away at your self-belief, Jung warned of an even subtler darkness, the life teachers. They don't complain, they don't plant doubts. They appear wrapped in a halo of wisdom, speaking in moral language with a calm, steady tone, as if they hold the secret keys to maturity. From the very first encounter, it's easy to be drawn in. They speak slowly, eyes glowing with certainty. Every opener sounds caring. "I just want to help you grow. You should listen, I've been through this myself." It all sounds reasonable. It all sounds kind. But underneath, every word quietly places you below them. You leave the conversation not empowered, but with a vague unease. "I feel like I was just graded, and I didn't pass." These life teachers are everywhere. A coworker who insists on coaching you in every meeting. A relative at a family dinner always slipping in a life lesson. A friend who turns a casual weekend brunch into a sermon. Even a self-proclaimed life coach or healer who analyzes every feeling you share. The pattern is the same. They always stand higher. They are the guide, and you, forever the one who isn't good enough. The danger deepens when they mix in psychological language. With just a few words, you're pushed into the role of someone who needs fixing. Maybe you haven't healed enough. That's why you reacted like that. You still need to level up to really understand what I'm saying. Try to push back. They instantly label you. See? That resistance proves you're not mature yet. A perfect loop. Every reaction you give becomes proof that you're wrong. Jung called this the trap of the persona, the flawless mask. The more a person identifies with their persona, the more they exile their own shadow. You become the mirror onto which they project the arrogance they refuse to acknowledge. What makes this group truly dangerous is that they believe they're doing good. They think they're helping you awaken, but inside, they're simply maintaining moral power. The more inadequate you feel, the stronger their position becomes. The result? You start self-editing before you even speak, afraid of saying the wrong thing, afraid to reveal a weakness that will be analyzed. You hold back your joys for fear of being called shallow. You hesitate to share opinions lest they be judged not deep enough. Step by step, you shrink, not to earn love, but to avoid the guilt of not measuring up. Jung once said, "Absolute goodness is as dangerous as overt evil." When someone believes they embody the moral standard, every boundary turns into a weapon. They don't need to shout. A single gentle comment can make you retreat. And because their words sound so reasonable, it's hard to fight back. You start thinking, maybe they're right. Maybe I really do need to fix myself. But in that very moment, you've been locked inside a cage of moral superiority. Whether in a conference room, a family gathering, or a quiet cafe, their true desire isn't money or affection. What they crave is the feeling of standing above you. Every time you shrink a little more, they feel satisfied. They believe they've helped you grow. But the truth is, you're lowering yourself, all while believing you're being enlightened. Type 4. The chaos. Starter's danger doesn't always strike like a sudden storm. Sometimes it moves like an underground fault line, quietly shaking everything you thought was solid. And the people carrying that hidden fault line are the chaos starters. Unlike the complainers, the doubt planners, or the moral preachers, this group uses a different strategy. They turn instability itself into a weapon. They don't have to manipulate you directly. All they need to do is inject confusion into the environment around you. When everything becomes chaotic, you can't think clearly. You can't guard your boundaries. You'll spot them everywhere in life. A coworker who always brings rumors into the meeting room. A friend who turns a relaxed Sunday brunch into a full-blown drama. A family member who drops a shocking revelation at a holiday gathering, throwing the entire table into argument. Wherever they go, peace never lasts. Their method is subtle. They don't attack head-on. They just drop a few innocent lines, sharp as sparks. I heard that team is getting special treatment. Do you know who's been talking behind your back? Nobody really understands this plan, you know. Each remark lands like a spark on dry hay. Curiosity flares, fear of exclusion rises. Within minutes, you're pulled into a whirlpool of conflict without even knowing why. And when you react, they quickly retreat. Oh, I was just joking. Don't take it so seriously. Everything becomes just for fun. You're left angry and helpless with nothing you can pin on them. At work, they keep projects tense without leaving evidence. In friend groups, they turn joy into a chain of dramatic events. In families, they turn holidays into emergency meetings. Their damage doesn't come from one big explosion. It comes from countless small collisions. You grow exhausted, not from a single battle, but from hundreds of tiny cuts. You burn energy putting out fires, cleaning up rumors, smoothing over conflicts. By the end, you have nothing left for your own dreams and goals. This is their unconscious aim, to make the outside world as chaotic as the storm inside them. Jung once wrote, "Where there is chaos, the shadow's in command." When a person can't control their inner turmoil, they unconsciously create outer chaos as a mirror. So if you notice that you always leave certain encounters drained or on edge, trust that signal. It's not weakness, it's your survival radar sounding the alarm. If these descriptions remind you of someone, at work, in your friend group, or even in your own family, share your experience in the comments. Your story could help others spot the signs sooner. And if you found this insight valuable, share this video with friends so they too can recognize the chaos starters, one of the most silent yet dangerous forces Jung ever warned about. Type 5. The hidden power. Brokers. Some people never need to shout or seize authority with their hands. They hold power through an invisible network, threads of connection you can't see. They are the hidden power brokers, the ones who quietly steer outcomes from behind the scenes while you believe you're making your own choices. On the surface, they appear humble, soft-spoken, polite, honest. They know everyone's name, who's close to whom, who carries influence where. When necessary, they drop a single gentle line and the whole room suddenly shifts. Don't worry, I'll smooth things over with the boss for you. I've heard quite a few people are uneasy about this idea. Just a few words, yet behind them is a web of someone you'd rather not cross. You're not forced, you just feel you should comply, because everyone senses that behind a friendly smile may stand a quiet force you don't dare confront. Their weapon is not noise, it's covert connection. They build trust, gather information, weave relationships, so that when the time comes, a single subtle move can redirect the entire course. You look at the result and wonder, how did the group agree so quickly? You forget to ask, who quietly led everyone to that conclusion? The danger is that they leave almost no trace. If you question them, they'll say, "I'm just sharing what people seem to feel." Everything is wrapped in cooperation, making the manipulation nearly impossible to call out. Try to resist? Good luck. Their network is masked by friendliness and perfectly reasonable words. Jung called this shadow power. When someone denies their own craving for control, that energy finds expression through subtle maneuvering. You'll notice the effects in quiet ways. You pause twice before proposing an idea. You measure every word to avoid stepping on someone's toes. You start making decisions based on guessing what they want, rather than what you truly believe. Here's a simple sign to watch for. After each meeting or conversation with them, you don't leave angry, but tense. You feel predicted rather than supported. If that tension repeats, trust the signal. It's not oversensitivity. It's proof you're moving inside a path someone else has already drawn. Many hidden power brokers genuinely believe they are keeping order for the group. They think they're helping avoid conflict and guiding practical choices, but the result is the same. You slowly lose your ability to decide for yourself, while they quietly pull strings they rarely admit exist. How to stay out of their orbit. Keep asking, who is actually responsible for this decision? Demand transparency. Who was consulted and by what criteria? Trust your gut. If you leave a meeting with a tense silence in the air, it's not random. Practice saying, "I need time to think," before agreeing to group conclusions. Hidden power doesn't shout. It settles in, steady, silent, and most dangerous of all, it convinces you every choice was yours. Recognize it early. Reclaim your boundaries. It's the only way to avoid becoming a puppet in someone else's carefully staged play. Type 6. The remorseless manipulators. Not everyone hurts you out of weakness or fear. There's a group that goes far beyond all the others. They know exactly what they're doing, they calculate every move, and most terrifying of all, They feel no remorse. Carl Jung considered this the highest level of human darkness, the remorseless manipulators. You can meet them anywhere in life. A boss who skillfully twists a meeting so the final credit lands squarely in their own hands. A romantic partner who convinces you that their mistakes are actually your fault. A friend who pressures you to give in, yet does it so deftly you feel grateful for helping them. Unlike the earlier types, who may act from fear or hidden wounds, these people are cold and deliberate. They watch carefully how you react, they memorize your weaknesses, and they use that information to move you like a chess piece. Their game often begins with seduction. They flatter you. They share personal secrets to create the illusion of intimacy. They make you feel special in their eyes. But this is only the opening act. Once they gain your trust, they shift to control. They drop lines designed to trigger guilt. They corner you into choices that benefit them, but always wrapped in language that sounds reasonable. It's for the greater good. One of their cruelest tactics is reality reversal. Point out their wrongdoing, and they strike back immediately. You're too sensitive. You're remembering it wrong. Everyone else sees it my way. This is classic gaslighting, a psychological technique that slowly makes you doubt your own memory and emotions. After a few rounds, you start to wonder, maybe I really did imagine it. Gradually, you stop defending your perspective. What makes them horrifying is not just their technique, but their absolute coldness. While you lose sleep worrying about hurting someone, they sleep soundly after shattering a relationship or stealing an opportunity. Jung saw this as a shadow completely severed from conscience, where personal gain and power are the only motives. You'll know you're near one of these people when every interaction leaves you feeling as if you've just lost an invisible match. You agree to things you never wanted. You find yourself defending their actions to others. You're shocked at how easily you accepted a request you would normally refuse. No yelling, no public pressure, only a series of small, calculated moves, each one nudging you further out of your free zone and deeper into territory they control. To deal with them, Jung stressed a hard rule. Trust the reality you observe, not just the words they speak. They will do everything possible to make you doubt yourself. So every flicker of caution inside you is a critical warning. Hold firm boundaries, document concrete facts, and above all, do not expect your kindness to change them. They know exactly what they're doing. And it is precisely that conscious choice that makes them the most dangerous type Jung ever warned about. They do not manipulate because they are weak. They manipulate because they choose to. You've just walked through the 6 types of people Carl Jung called the walking shadows. The emotional victim who makes you carry their feelings, the confidence eroder who eats away at your self-belief, the moral preacher who hides behind virtue, the chaos starter who turns instability into a weapon, the hidden power broker who controls from behind the scenes, and the remorseless manipulator who calculates every move. Their tactics differ, but their goal is the same: to make you surrender the ownership of your own life. Jung never asked us to live in fear. He reminded us that the shadow exists in every relationship and inside each of us. When someone refuses to face their own darkness, they will unconsciously dump it onto others. That's when dangerous behaviors emerge. Your strongest shield is awareness and boundaries. Trust your body's signals. Tension, restlessness, sudden guilt. These are not weaknesses. They are your radar protecting you. Never blame yourself for being too sensitive. Sensitivity simply means you can still feel when someone is crossing the line. Setting boundaries is not about becoming cold. It's about living true and free. Even a simple sentence like, "I need time to think," is enough to interrupt manipulation and keep you standing firm. When you stay steady, the dangerous ones will eventually fall away, and you will become exactly what Jung hoped for, your authentic self. If these insights sparked a realization for you, share your story in the comments below. And don't forget to share this video with friends or colleagues, because one small warning today could help them protect their own freedom and peace for a lifetime.